Hello, good evening, Arn. Thank you very much for joining me here today. It's very special to have you here, and you're in La Union right now, right? So the signal might not be the best, but it's okay. We're gonna go through this. We're gonna make it work out. Yeah. So thank you for accepting my invite to be the guest for today. So I'm now giving you the chance to introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself, what you're doing now, and yeah, anything interesting about you.
Okay, so hi, I'm Arnila Geronimo. Currently working at the government as a legal assistant, and I'm also an aspiring artist, and I'm currently passionate about doing visual arts slash painting.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think that's kind of interesting.
Okay, okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So you are like a paralegal, is that correct? In a government office.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Okay.
could
That's
say so. Yeah.
okay. That's cool. And it's interesting because you're a paralegal in a government office, and at the same time you are an inspiring visual artist. I think that's a really interesting combination. And since you've already mentioned it, anyway, um, what made you be interested in visual arts, and specifically what kind of visual arts, or uh what form of art are you actually doing or learning?
I'm currently doing and learning painting. Um, I started doing pencil sketches. Then I use other means such as watercolor, and now I'm currently exploring acrylic painting. I
Mm-hmm.
think why did I chose to use art, or I think for me art is interesting in a way that it allows you to express yourself, your emotions, and it's challenging in a way that you're expressing yourself not through words but through brush strokes, the colors, and the images that you put on the blank canvas or on the paper.
Mm-hmm. So
So,
right now you're using acrylic paint, correct? Acrylic paint.
yes.
Yes. Before acrylic
Yeah.
paint, uh, pencil sketches. Did you say pencil sketches?
Yes, I
Yes.
started with pencil sketches.
Okay, okay. So, okay, let us go through that. I mean, let's go deeper with that. With pencil sketches, I mean, how did you learn to draw in general? Did you take any class? Did you like watch any video, or did you just go through it by yourself?
Actually, I got inspired with some of the videos that I watch on TikTok. Well, yeah, TikTok is not only
TikTok.
for dancing stuff, but it also contains some of the artists' works and on how they create their art. Then that's it. I also wanted to create something that I with my personal touch. That's why I'm also encouraged to start doing this stuff.
Mhm. Okay, that's very interesting. I didn't know that people on TikTok also do like some sort of visual arts. Wow.
Yes, they do.
That's very interesting. And you said that you wanted to produce art by expressing yourself in the art that you do. By any chance, do you have any of your pencil sketches with you that you could perhaps show our audience if they are watching this on YouTube?
Yes, actually, actually, I don't have all of my artworks with me because some are in Manawag, but now I have some here in La Union. So,
Oh, cool.
these are some of my sketches. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, this is not actually the first one.
Okay.
Um, This was just last June 21, 2020.
Okay.
Well, I
Mhm. For those who are not able to see it, because some people might be listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, so they're not seeing visuals. So for them, could you describe what's there? So for me, based on my eyes, I'm not an artist, but what I can see is a face of a woman. I think it's only half of the face, and I'm not sure if this is called cubism or I don't know, lines. I'm not very familiar with drawing theories, but yeah, that's what I see. Could you tell us more about this piece of art?
this piece of art is a face of a woman being fragmented. Somehow it looks like a puzzle,
Hmm.
needed to be completed, something like that.
Oh,
And
okay.
I decided to just use plain black and white to portray the inner emotions within it. That's it. So um it's like making a statement of how are you today into how are you today.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I remember you're actually doing a Twitter thread for your artwork, right? Yes. Hello. You actually have a Twitter thread for your artworks, right? That's
Yes.
yes, yes, yes. So I just
That's
remembered.
exactly what I want to portray.
Mm, I see. Cool. All right. You were gonna
Yes.
show us some more pencil sketches.
So here's the next one.
Okay. Yeah. The the screen is frozen, so I cannot see it yet. But can you describe it for us? Oh, I think I think your video just okay. You can just turn your video again, I think. Okay. There.
Sorry, what happened? It's a
No
technical
worries. That's
problem.
okay.
This is another piece of my how art you.
Mm,
This time I put some colors on it because I kind of feel happy on that day. So yeah,
okay. So since you've already mentioned this like hashtag how art you, could you tell us more about the inspiration why you're doing it? Like how art you? Could you tell us a bit more about that?
basically how art you is a method or a means to show or to release your emotions. As I said, it's actually a platform of making a catharsis or releasing all of the stress that you feel, anxiety or whatnot, something
Mm,
like that. That's why instead of using words, I use basically sketches,
mm.
painting, something like that.
Oh, I see. Okay. For me, art is sometimes I feel like art could sometimes be very lonely. When you're creating something because you're creating it on your own, and well, it's a good way to um, express yourself, express your emotions, what you're feeling. But I'm just curious if by any chance you belong to a community of people who make art, or have you found people who are into the same kind of thing that you're doing right now?
Actually, I'm not yet involved in an organization, but there are some people who approaches me who are also into art. Then
Mm,
they suggest that hey, you should post it on Facebook. You may not know someone may bid for it, something like that.
mm, yes, true. And
So I think
mhm,
they do arts for bidding on Facebook,
mm, oh,
but I didn't ask and them about it.
I see. Okay. Maybe sometime in the future you can work it out and perhaps publish your art to a bigger audience, and I think that would be awesome. And I haven't seen all of your artwork, but I'm just curious if together with your artwork, if you're also like uh writing captions for them, or do you just create art and then it's just the art and it's for the people who view it to interpret it on their own?
Sometimes I write captions on it, just like my recent ones. Um, Actually, I don't have it because it's in Manawag. The one that I
Mm.
posted on Twitter.
Okay, I
Um,
see.
it says maglayag, magpatuloy, and it has a painting of a mini boat
Mm.
on a sunset, and I used small strokes for the details in order to quite capture impressionism, something like that.
Mm. Okay. So yeah, big words like impressionism. Now I want to ask you more about instead of the art in itself, the learning process, because of course it didn't just spring up that you're suddenly you can draw or you can sketch. So how did the learning process go? You said you were inspired by watching people on TikTok and then you want to try it yourself. So how did you go from doing pencil sketches? Perhaps did you already know how to draw from years back, or did you just learn it now? How did you learn how to draw per se using pencil and then paint brushes? Because now you're also using acrylic paint, right? So perhaps there's a transition. So could you tell us about the learning that you've gone through to, make more variety of art?
Actually, I started in college.
Mm-hmm.
I started drawing gowns, something like that, but I think um, I was not able to improve on designing gowns. So I just continued it um, 2 years ago, last
Mm-hmm.
2018. Then I improved it, and I'm trying to improve it now. So basically, just small sketches. Then actually, way back in high school, I really have an interest in doing art.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think it's it's not really an instant skill to learn an art, but it's a long, long process. As long as you're passionate and very interested in doing it, then you will give it a time to practice. And yeah, mistakes will always be there, but those mistakes will help you improve along the way. So just draw and draw
Mm-hmm.
whenever you feel like doing art.
I see. Okay, so it appears to me that it's been an interest of yours for quite a long time now. Like you said, from high school, you've already been interested in doing art, and you didn't mention taking any class. You didn't take any class, did you? No, no, no. So it's all like self discovery and then just experimenting with different kinds of materials. Oh.
That's exact.
And how do you go through that process? Like for me, well, I can also draw a little, but I don't really spend time trying to draw or creating visual arts. But how do you go through it? And like, how do you measure being able to progress? Like, how do you know you've improved from before if you don't have a teacher or uh, lecture or a class through which you can make assessments of what you're learning?
So I think I'm able to know if I'm improving when I can see my past artworks and comparing them to the present. because there are really some artworks that are, I think I'm not that satisfied, and until now, upon reaching now, I think I can say that somehow I get satisfied with most of my work somehow.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well,
Okay. So, does this mean that you're also, aside from your own critiquing of your work, do you also get feedback from other people?
yes, when I post some of it online, some
Mm,
people um message me and they say, "Oh, I appreciate your work," and to me that feedback means, oh, and to me that feedback means it I'm improving.
mm.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, because I actually feel that a lot of uh, a lot of art are being created like every single day. People create art, post them online, and usually it's for expression, right? But sometimes we also want to show it to people to show that we're actually doing something, or sometimes we are trying to uh send a message. So perhaps I'm trying to connect what you've been doing, since you said there's how are you, is it only about yourself, or are you also trying to send message to other people so that they can also express themselves through art? Like, are you encouraging other people to also do the same thing that you're doing?
Yes, I'm impliedly encouraging them to do the same thing because art is really a platform to release whatever you wanted to release, to show whatever you wanted to show when words are not enough. And it is also a way of getting to know yourself
Mm,
because through art, you're able to unveil what your potentials are. Something like
right, right. And now you're doing acrylic paint art, so art using acrylic paint. Um, uh, what's this? How did you like transition? Like, okay, it's, did you stop doing pencil sketch and then now change your artwork to acrylic paint artwork, or how does it work? Like, are you still using different kinds of materials, or now you're just focusing on acrylic paint?
um, actually, I for now I'm tending to focus on acrylic paint,
Mm,
but also acrylic painting does not mean that you should negate pencil sketches because basically your pencil sketches would be the foundation of your acrylic paint. So I still need to hone my skills on doing pencil sketches.
okay, so it's not completely neglecting the pencil sketch, but it's like a foundation to the current art that you're doing. Okay. So with this acrylic paint, so you're still studying it on your own, right? You're experimenting on your own. How does this experimenting go? Like, do you just like, I'm not sure, because maybe some people implement some sort of techniques or anything, but for you, if you're just testing stuff, like maybe drawing and then splattering the paint here and there, how does it work?
Well, it it will involve a lot of experimenting actually because um it's really hard to use acrylic paint, and also it will help if you will get some inspiration from other artists, or in some way you will be able to know how would they apply such acrylic paint on their canvas.
Mm,
Currently I'm having a difficulty on learning how to make portraits because it's a very detailed one, and you need to know the exact skin tones, the details on the eyes, the nose, and on the lips. So I tend to visit TikTok for that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. Because some artists really ex- show the process on how they do their art on TikTok, even on just a short span of time.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying now is there are people on TikTok who actually somehow sort of teach how to do this art.
Yes, yes,
Ah,
yes, exactly.
okay. That's interesting. I've never used TikTok, so I don't know how that works. But you said short videos, right? Like how short are these videos?
Yes. I think it's like 15 seconds.
15 seconds, and they teach you how to
It
paint.
seems, yeah,
Oh.
but it's on a faster pace. It's
Hmm.
like on a time lapse, and then
Hmm.
you'd be able to see how they do their pieces.
I see. Actually,
And
mhm. Actually, because you've mentioned it, I'm kind of curious how other people use TikTok now because yeah, like you've mentioned a while ago, people usually know TikTok only for dance videos, but there are actually different kinds of users. I mean, there are different kinds of users and there are different ways to use TikTok. And as for you, you're using TikTok to learn more about visual arts. Aside from visual arts, how else do you use TikTok? You personally.
personally, for some entertaining videos, they some TikTok users also post their not the dance ones, huh?
Mm,
The um how they creative videos.
mm,
It's like they are also showcasing their skills on photography, video making, editing, and of course for some spoofs, comedy spoofs.
mm. I see.
And yeah, that's it. But basically, I go to TikTok for arts.
Cool, cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that because at least now we know that TikTok is not only for dance, but there's a lot more. At least for me, I've become enlightened of my previous notion of TikTok. That's new. That's very new to me. All right. Okay. So since we've been talking about art anyway, and you going through this process of experimentation on your own, and at the same time with the help of TikTok videos to learn more about visual arts, is there any sort of discovery or learning that you've had, perhaps about yourself, while going through this process of learning how to do visual arts?
Yes, I think there is. Um, I think I could say that I am a patient one because
Mhm.
along the way of making arts, there will always be a lot of mistakes. You will always commit imperfect sketches, um, wrong colors, mistakes in the strokes, but then I still continue to um, push through making art, and on that way I can say that I'm also not afraid to start over, because when those mistakes were committed, I just say to myself that I think I can do better. So I would just grab a white paint, then completely erase all the previous mistakes that I did to make new ones. So I
Mm,
think art is also for starting over.
mm. Art is for starting over. And wait, you mentioned about erasing. So when you create art and then you don't like it, you completely erase it or destroy it. Sometimes I say, huh?
Sometimes, but there are also some accidents that are actually, oh, it looks an art. I mean, it looks good, even if
Mm,
it's a mistake. So I would also like to add that those mistakes could also, it could be a mess, but those mess could also be a message, an art on its
mm.
own.
Wow, yeah, a mess, but also a message and art on its own. Yeah. Wow, that's really nice. Yeah. And okay, cool. So you've discovered patience in yourself, and you've discovered how, like, you can make mistakes and still create art, right? Okay. All right. I think this would be my last question. Um well, still about learning art for people who are learning art on their own, like you, because of course there are people who learn art, they go to school, they take classes, so on and so forth, but not a lot of people can do that, because like you, like me, people are probably people who are the same age as we are working, and not much time to take classes or anything, or probably they do not have a extra budget for taking classes. So how would you want to give advice to them, how they can still pursue art while at the same time probably doing a corporate job or doing something that keeps them busy? So some words of advice perhaps.
Yeah. Um, I think I would like to tell that they should find time on doing things that they love. Because when you do things that you love, well, things would go much easier and you would have fun. Also, it's like a form of a time for yourself when you do those things that you love. So just don't be afraid to explore and maximize your capabilities as much as you can.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. Thank you. So it's I think you were saying that people should just get started, and with what they currently have, just use it and maximize it, and like know themselves, know what they love, and just do it, right? All right. Okay, thank you very much. This conversation is kind of interesting, aside from the fact that I learned about TikTok. I mean, I've started to see TikTok as a different kind of platform than before. You shared things about art on a different light, on the light of experimentation, like doing it on yourself. Because I think for most of us right now, when we want to learn something, of course, we want to learn something on our own, but probably there's a lot of people who would prefer to just go the easy way, like take classes, watch YouTube videos, so and so. But for you, even though you're also watching TikTok videos, you've come to a point that you're experimenting, you're testing things out on your own, discovering yourself, your own style of art. So even though you don't know the names of the theories or the techniques, it's okay, because what matters is you're able to express yourself, you're able to put how you are feeling, like how are you into the art that you are creating, and somehow you're posting that online, you're making it available for other people to see. And yeah, I believe that all other people who are listening to this are probably interested in doing some sort of art as well. And yeah, I think it's important that they find something that they love and start doing it, and don't be limited by what they do not have, but instead maximize what they currently have and use it to start, at least get started, and then keep going on. Yeah, thank you very much for sharing your story with us today. And yeah, hope to see you again next time. Is there anything that you would want to promote before we say goodbye? Like
Nothing. Right?
nothing. Okay, you wouldn't want to promote, but yeah, maybe people could check out your Twitter, and yeah, if they want to see the artworks that you've been doing until now. So perhaps I'll put the Twitter what's that? Twitter handle, your Twitter handle on the description of the video and the podcast, so people can also check it out. Yeah, thank you very much, and hope to see you again next time.
You're welcome, Rome. Hope to see you. also after all this pandemic.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
You're listening to Rome is in Manila, a podcast with the pandemic as its ground zero. I am Rome Joanatas. I am not your friend yet. Listen as we transcend through space and time, discussing misadventures, noise, and learnings with guests who are learning and learning and learning things. Tune in. Stop being a stranger. Be a friend.